we talking about? Weather and erosion.
Erosion?
Erosion. Yep. We have, and the two words are erosion.
Erosion.
And deposition.
Deposition.
Okay. We're going to talk about what they are. Okay. So, this is our dirt. This is our land, right? I don't think this is going to work as well as I'd hoped, but this is drywall mud. And got this water. This is our little river we're trying to make here. Okay. Keeping it wet. So this is our land, and we know that as the land is here, this way right now, but it's not going to stay that way forever, right? You remember our picture of the Grand Canyon?
Grand Canyon?
And it had the river coming through it, and it kind of goes back and forth a lot, and the river just keeps on going. The river looks really small at the bottom, but that water made the Grand Canyon, because as it was going through the Grand Canyon, it kept taking dirt and more dirt and more dirt, and it kept taking more and more, and it carved out this river. So we're going to try and kind of make our piece look like that a little bit. Okay? So, what kind of things in nature change our landscape?
Change our landscape.
What changes our landscape?
What changes our landscape?
We have wind.
Wind.
We have other rocks and things like that.
Things like that.
So when rocks grind on rocks, they break down into smaller rocks, right? Like if we were to take a little bit of this, you take a little bit here, and you take a little bit here. See? I got two rocks, right? What happens when we grind them on top of each other? Like this? They start falling apart, right? We have little rocks now. Yeah. So when rocks are grinding on rocks, they'll start breaking down the dirt, and the dirt will start moving, and it changes the way the landscape looks. Okay? Getting it? So it changes how everything looks. So we've got all these little rocks. Does it look different with the rocks on top? Does our landscape look different with the rocks on top now?
Yes.
Yeah, it does. It does look different, right? So when we have rocks and they bump up against each other, remember what kind of energy is bump?
Bump?
Kinetic energy. So the rocks will bump each other, and everything will break down.
Will break down.
So it looks different as they bump together. So to try and see how that takes away the landscape, I've got these two. Does this look like little rocks? What is this? Does this look like little rocks in here? Yes or no?
Yes.
Yeah. So what happens if these rocks different? Is it breaking them down? Are you looking? These little rocks, they're coming along here. Are they breaking?
Are they breaking?
They're breaking them down, right? So these little rocks, when they grind up on here, they start breaking everything down. So this is rocks bumping against rocks. One piece of land moves, they bump into each other, and then the next one moves, and then they bump into each other, and the next one moves. Guess what happens the next day? Should I tell it like a story?
Like a Story?
Okay, let's tell it like a story. So these rocks, they were outside one day. They were just like chilling, and one of them like started rolling down a hill, and he bumped on the other one, and he broke him. And now he had two friends instead of one. So two friends instead of one were rolling down the hill with the first rock. So it was three rocks, and then they started bumping into each other again. By the time they got to the bottom of the hill, there were 10 rocks. It was all over the place. Guess what happened the next day? The next day, it wasn't very sunny. We had lots of clouds, right? What happens when clouds come in? What do they bring with them? Do they bring marshmallows or rain? Rain. It's gonna rain. Uh-oh, so the rocks are hanging out there at the bottom of the hill and it starts to rain. Which one of our tools can be like rain? Yeah? Is that like rain? You want to do rain or Daddy do rain?
Daddy do rain?
Okay, I'll do the rain so you don't get wet, okay? Whoa! What happened to our rocks? Where'd they go? Where'd they go? They fell off. They moved, right? So when the water takes all the rocks and the dirt, that's erosion. Okay, so when rocks and dirt are moving, it's erosion. You remember that?
Remember that?
Okay, so when rocks and dirt are moving, it's called?
It's cold. Erosion?
Yeah, good job. I don't know why you're timid. You're so smart. You got it. Okay, so that's erosion when the rocks and dirt move. When they stop at the bottom and they're sitting still, they're not moving anymore. Deposition. Deposition. They were deposited there. So deposition. Okay. So when they're moving, it's called? When they're moving, it's called?
Baseball. Moving is called
Erosion or deposition?
deposition.
When it's moving, it's called? Yeah, okay. And when it's staying still and it's all at the bottom and it's holding still, it's called? Deposition. Good job. Okay. So erosion is moving, deposition is holding still. Erosion is moving, deposition holding still. Cool. Okay. So back to our story of erosion and deposition. Erosion and deposition are affected by the water because it took the rocks down, it eroded them, and then deposited them. What else can be like water over here? What else has water in it? It's got some water in it, right? Is that going to make a difference on here? You want to try it? You want to turn it on? It also has wind. So that's the next one we can do. Okay? It'll move them a little bit. Does it move? It won't move the big ones. But it moves the little tiny pieces, see? So as they're broken up, and if they're in the right spot, they'll still fly away. See all those little ones that are flying away? So wind can erode, it's erosion too, and deposit them somewhere else. Erosion, deposition by wind. And then if with the wind, when it comes through, it says, okay, we're going to rain on you. It's going to rain. Did you get hit by the rain? A little bit. You want to rain?
Rain?
Okay, you rain. So that's kind of a light rain, huh? Sometimes there's a big rain. Maybe it's a monsoon. Yep. And the wind can push the water too, right? So as things are drizzling down, a little bit of water, they'll keep scraping each other little by little. But you see all this white? It's starting to scrape through. It's starting to make these little paths. Does it look different than we started? Does it look different? Yes or no?
Yes.
Yeah, it's already starting to look different, right? Yeah. So, and then the last thing, we can use this too. Maybe it's a big wind. Look at that. See all that move right there? Push them aside. Pushes them over. So now we got more right here, and we've got a bigger hole right there. Right? Wind can be really strong too, and when it's really strong, it's going to move stuff around again. That's erosion. Anytime dirt and rock moves, it's called, when it's moving, it's called erosion.
And discretion.
This one is deposition. So erosion is when it moves.
Erosion?
And then when it's at the bottom, what is it called? When it's just resting, not moving. What's it called?
Deposition.
Good. There we go. Yep. So moving, erosion, and then deposition at the bottom, right? So we got a little bit on you now. Sorry, dude. Oh, it's okay. I'll wash him. We'll wash him. Okay. Okay. So does our landscape look a little bit different now?
It's a little different now.
So do you understand how erosion and deposition works? It's pretty simple, right? We kept it pretty simple. There's a lot more to it too, but erosion and deposition. Cool.